Puraṇānaṁ ālayam karuṇālayam namāmi Bhagavatpādam Shankaram lokashankaram Shankaram Shankarācāryam Keshavam Bādarayanam Sutrabhāshyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The 18th chapter begins with a question by Arjuna asking about the nature of sannyasa and the nature of tyaga. What is tyaga? He wants to know. What is sannyasa? He wants to know. And Lord Krishna gives an elaborate answer, even relying on some other scholars' opinions, including his own opinions. So he gives an academic answer that takes us from verses 2 to all the way up till verse 12. Now, sannyasa can be defined very easily. The word itself shows what sannyasa is. Sam plus ni plus as. As, fourth conjugation, what does it mean? To throw away. So, ni, nishchayena, definitely to throw away. What? Everything in the appropriate manner. That is why the sum is there. That which is thrown away means gotten rid of in the appropriate manner is called nyasa, sannyasa, samyak nyasa, samyak plus sam plus ni plus as. So, this in the very derivation of the word, what do we have? We have the definition completely. Then why does Lord Krishna go up to 12th verse defining this sannyasa? Is because of who the questioner is. Who is the questioner? Arjuna. And what is Arjuna? Not ready for sannyasa. Not ready for sannyasa. Because if he were ready for sannyasa, Lord Krishna would have said, please go to the forest in chapter 2 itself. When he says, Guru nahatva hi mahanubaha bhavan shreyo bhoktum bhaikshyam apiha loke. It's better to take bhiksha, lead to a life of alms, resort to a life of alms, rather than to kill the elders and one's gurus. Yes, you are right, go. But what does Bhagavan say from verses 2 to 17? What has he said? Tasmad yuddhaya yujyasva. Get up and get ready for war. Tasmad uthishta yuddhaya krita nishchayaha. Get up, make the decision to fight, do your karma. And karma yoga, Lord inserted every single place possible because Arjuna is not ready for sannyasa. If supposing you feel like asking the question, why is Arjuna not ready for sannyasa? It's very, very clear. Let us see why he is not ready even before we enter this chapter. He is not ready because he has come to sannyasa, he has thought of sannyasa from a place of distress. That's what happens in life. That's what happens because there is a Vaidika what's its name? There is a Vaidika Paddhati called sannyasa. In the olden days, the go-to was to become a sannyasi. Nowadays, the go-to is to drop everything and become a hobo. Hobo means just a drifter. That's what. So, what was there before? Sannyasa was an acceptable way of giving up karma. Karma means obligatory duties, even optional duties. All these karmas to give up the sannyasa, which was a very elaborate ritual in those days, where you declared the intention of giving up all karma in front of Indra, Varuna, Agni, in front of the sun, in front of the 5 elements, everything. You made your intentions clear, and then you also said from this day onwards, even Indra and anybody on earth, whether they are a celestial, Deva, whether they are Manushya or whether they are Tiryak. Tiryak means all other animal forms. They don't have anything to fear from me. This is what the person says, gives Abhaya Danam, gives the gift of Abhaya to all the people. Nobody and nothing in the world needs to be afraid of me from now on. And then takes on to the, actually doesn't take on to the robes, goes northwards. The north is the direction symbolizing moksha, goes northwards, and then either the Guru or the other students of the Guru who are already sannyasis call the person back, give them orange clothes and say, you don't have to leave everything and go, please come back and be a blessing to the universe and do some seva in the form of teaching, in the form of helping people, whatever, spend your life in this way. This is what sannyasa is. And when is the best time to take sannyasa? After 50 years old? Any other guesses? Any time is a good time? After leading a householder's life? Well, Krishna's answer is very unique. The best time to take sannyasa is when you no longer want it. Because if you have a raga for sannyasa, then that becomes what? Raga. Sannyasa is for people without raga. That's why you should be viraga, then only sannyasa. Then if you say, if supposing somebody asks you, you want sannyasa, and if you just go and say, I never thought you will ask, when? Okay, let me just shop for orange and let me see which shade of orange suits my skin tone the best. And then let me go on Amazon.com and order some orange dhotis and do all this, and when can I be there, and I want to invite all my friends, I want to invite all my relatives. Then that person is not ready at all, according to Lord Krishna. So if you offer sannyasa to a person and the person says, nah, okay, if you want to give. Then the person is ready for sannyasa. Okay, and that is what the Lord takes 11 verses. The first verse is what? The question. The Lord takes 11 verses to explain that alone. That only is explained in 11 verses in great detail, because Arjuna is confused and Arjuna wants sannyasa because it's a ticket. Ticket to what? Forget ticket to what. It's a ticket from what we have to see. It's a ticket from fighting this gory war. This war full of blood and gore, full of manastapa, means emotional affliction of killing your own nephews and uncles and grandfather, what to talk of teachers, all these things. And this is just a terrible thing. And then not only you are killing people on that side, those people are not eating bananas on that side, they are also killing your people. So in addition to killing the people you love, You have to also think of your own losses on your side as well. So it's a very, very difficult proposition. He tried to ask it many times. Many times he wanted to run away. But Lord Krishna did not think he was ready for sannyasa. Because if you are not ready for sannyasa and you take sannyasa, it's the worst thing in life. Let us recall chapter 5, I think verse 5 also. Sannyasastu mahabaho dukhamaptum ayogatah. Without karma yoga, without mentally preparing the mind, if you take sannyasa, what will happen? Dukkham aptum. It is very difficult to manage this life. Without karma yoga means preparation. Without a prepared mind, if you take sannyasa, one will become like the sannyasis near Badrinath, not all of them, some of them, near Badrinath and Kedarnath, all these places. Pujya Swamiji went there once and they all said, long before he had sannyasa, Pujya Swamiji decided to meet all the other Swamis living in the higher Himalayas. So when he went to Badrinath, he met some sadhus and he wanted to know what this life is like. And they all said, look at us, we are crying, we are bored, we are lonely. We did the biggest mistake, please don't do this, there's nobody even to talk to. And the pilgrims who we want to talk to, they're always looking at their watch. They cannot get rid of us fast enough because they have trains to catch, they are on a very fixed schedule. There's the Badrinath from Rishikesh means 3 days, 4 days. You have to come back or you have to pay extra for the car. And so therefore, even the pilgrims, other pilgrims don't talk to us. And then what? You can't have a designer orange dress while being a sannyasi. There is no designer dress. And it is what Bhagavan has designed you wear. That's all. There is no change of hairstyle also. This you have to worry if you have hair. Okay? If you don't have hair, this is not a worry. There is no change of hairstyle. There is no, where is my, what is that called? Custom made boutique to go have a haircut, hairstylist, my personal hairstylist and my personal workout person. What is that called? Personal trainer. Where is my personal trainer? All this is not there. And then they also told Pujya Swamiji that it is very, very, very difficult to live in these cold climates and sometimes bhiksha also doesn't come. So we have to resort to very interesting measures. Because if we are on the side of the road sitting there waiting for the pilgrims, they say, another beggar. I already gave over there in the back. So I am not going to give it to this fellow. And they move on. Then Pujya Swamiji asked, what if you are in your kutia, which is little bit away? Oh, then they don't even know where they are. They don't give bhiksha. Then what do you do? And so these sannyasis said, we have a method. We have a long pole upon which there is an orange flag. And as soon as we see a car coming down the bend, we stick the flag outside the kutia so that people think there is one Mauni Baba here. Mauni Baba means silent master. There is a silent master here and this silent master has a lot to tell me. Maybe I can go inside and get some wisdom. So till then they will be eating or sleeping or doing something. As soon as they see the person coming in, they get into a, what is that? Meditation pose. With one eye they size the person. Oh, okay, looks rich. Okay. Then they close the eye. And then they continue to meditate and then continue to give some gyan, give some knowledge and then get some bhiksha. So they told all the insider story to Pujya Swamiji, and Pujya Swamiji used to very happily tell this story to all of us when we started studying. So therefore, sannyasa, if you are not ready, then that emotional readiness is very much needed for sannyasa. Without the emotional readiness, the life of sannyasa is a terribly lonely life. And it is very clear how Arjuna falls apart at every juncture and keeps falling apart all the time, that he is not ready for sannyasa. And also the fact that he cannot let go of sannyasa itself shows he is not ready for sannyasa. So therefore, the elaborate answer to the same question that he has asked in the 3rd chapter, 5th chapter, 12th chapter, and now 18th chapter. So the same question has come again and again, and then again it will come. अथ अष्टादशोऽध्यायः अर्जुन उवाच सन्न्यासस्य महाबाहो तत्त्वमिच्छामि वेदितुं त्यागस्य च हृषीकेश पृथक् केशिनिषूदन. अर्जुन उवाच. Arjuna asked. Papracha. Uvacha must be taken as papracha. Asked. What did he ask? Sannyasasya and tyagasya cha. Sannyasasya tyagasya cha prithak tattvam ichhami veditum. Sannyasasya cha tyagasya cha he Hrishikesha पृथक वेदितुम इच्छामि. हे हृषिकेश, हे महाबाहो, हे केशी निषूदन. 3 words to describe Krishna. He is buttering him up. He knows it's the same question. And if you are wanting to know the same thing, wanting the same thing again and again, when it has been told what? You cannot have it. You cannot have it. No, I really want it. And especially the forbidden fruit is very sweet. No, you can't have it. No, I have to have it. I want it. And so when you really want something and the person is not ready to give it to you, even the 2-year-old child tries to look extra cute and tries to say east or west, daddy is the best. And yes, you are so wonderful. Arjuna is doing the same to Lord Krishna, buttering him up a little bit. Hey Mahabaho. In fact, Krishna used to call Arjuna Mahabaho. Now the table is turned. Well, look, your arms are also not bad. Look at you. You are also mighty armed. Hey Mahabaho. And then what is the other epithet? Rishikesha. Rishikesha is the name of the town in which we are in. People usually say Rishikesh. The ha is gone because of laziness. Okay? Just because it is a Mahaprana, it takes effort. Nobody wants to say Rishikesh. What do they say? Rishikesh. And then Kesh means what? Everybody knows? Hair. The hair of the rishis. Oh, matted locks of the rishis. No. Rishikam. Rishika means indriyas. Sense organs is called Rishika. Rishikanam Ishaha Rishikeshaha. The Lord of the senses. What do you mean the Lord of the senses? Let's quickly go to Kenopanishad. Shrotrasya Shrotram Chakshushash Chakshuhu Vachoha Vacham Sau Pranasya Pranaha. That whose blessing presence makes the ears hear, makes the eyes see, makes the tongue talk, taste. This is Satchidananda Atma, which is the truth of Lord Krishna also. So, O Hrishikesha, that was the name of Lord Krishna. O Hrishikesha, the master of my own sense organs. And then Mahabaho, we have seen that. Keshi Nishudana. Keshin was a asura. And what did Lord Krishna do to this asura? Gave him instant moksha. Finished. And so, Keshi Nishudhana, O Hrishikesha, and O Mahabaho, please teach me Tyaga, please talk to me about sannyasa, and Prithak, separately. And you see, he's such a smart question, very smart question. Why? Because if he had just asked about Tyaga, then what would Lord Krishna have said? You know what? Tyaga is karma phala tyaga. Get rid of the penchant or the addiction to the fruits of action. That is a good tyaga. And then if he had just asked about sannyasa, what would the Lord have said? The Lord would have said, again, it is just not for you. I told you it's not for you. Go fight. So either way, if he had asked one or the other, Arjuna thought, it's not going to go very well. So therefore, what will I do? I will ask both. Let me ask both at the same time, and then he says, please define it separately, define it distinctly. Prithak means separately, prithak. What is tyaga? Tell me definitively. What is sannyasa? Tell me definitively. And then with this, the 17th chapter begins, and then in the next two verses, in the next two verses, Lord Krishna gives the opinion of other scholars and Mahatmas. So we don't need to chant these, because we will chant again fourth one, because that is Lord Krishna's opinion. So Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, all right, but Bhagavan is telling other people's opinion. Kamyanam karmanam nyasa sannyasam kavayo viduhu sarva karma phalatyagah prahuhu tyagam vichakshanaha. So kavayah vichakshanaha means other scholars, knowers of the self, etc. What do they say? They say that sannyasa is the giving up of kamya karma. 5 types of karmas were discussed 2 lifetimes ago, meaning 2 months ago. Okay? What were they? Nitya karma, very good. Naimittika karma, kamya karma, nishiddha karma, and then prayashchitta karma. 5 types of karmas were discussed. Things that have to be done every day, duties, both secular and religious, and things that are done occasionally, naimittika, things which need not be done, but I want to do this. Like this person came and said to me, I want a house with a swimming pool. If the pool is not there, I will dig the swimming pool. I said, are you very fond of swimming? She didn't say much. I said, are you very fond of swimming? I don't know how to swim. Then why do you want a swimming pool? I just like the idea of it. So this is called kamya karma. The house did not come with a swimming pool, but what do I want to do? I want to dig the swimming pool, not because the house wants it, not because I am a swimmer and a gold medalist swimmer. No. Why do I want it? Just because I have a whimsy for it. Whimsy means a fancy for it. I have a fancy for it, therefore I want a swimming pool. And so like this is called kamya karma. Then nishiddha karma is what? What is nishiddha karma? The things that one must never do. Taboo things. Nishiddha karma. Can you completely stay away from nishiddha karma? We have time, yeah. Can you stay away from nishiddha karma? No. Therefore we have what? Number 5. Prayashchitta karma, karma of atonement. 5 types of karma. So here these vichakshanas, some scholars, what do they say? They say, do 1 and 2. What is 1 and 2? Nitya karma and Naimittika karma you do, and you give up 3, 4 and 5. What are 3, 4 and 5? Kamya karma, Nishiddha karma, Prayashchitta karma you give up. Then that makes you what? A sannyasi according to some people. And then what is tyaga according to the same people? Karma phala tyaga. Giving up the results of all action is called tyaga according to them. Then he quotes 2 more kinds of views, perhaps that were in vogue at that time. Eke doshavat karma, eke manishanah doshavat karma tyajyam iti. Some wise people, what do they say? Doshavat karma, defective action. Action that is not done properly, action that is done with a motivation to do himsa, all these things must be given up. Then, yajna dana tapah karma natyajyam iti apare. Other scholars, what do they say? Yajna dana tapas. Do I need to define it? Say no even if you want to say yes. Because we've seen this in detail in which chapter? 17. Okay. 17th chapter came before which chapter? 18. So, in other words, when did we finish the 17th chapter? Yesterday. So, in other words, we have seen it yesterday. It should be still fresh in the mind. But if the mind is fresh, meaning so fresh that it just dropped even this, what can we say? Please go back and revise. That's all we can say. Okay. So, karma, so yajna dana tapas, yajna dana and tapas, we also saw day before yesterday why these 3 are the mainstay of preparation for this knowledge, and why yajna dana tapas are highly eulogized in the Vedas. We have seen that very, very clearly. Okay, and then so yajna dana tapah karma natyajyam iti cha apare. Other scholars say that rituals, charity, and what is yajna dana tapas and other disciplines must not be given up. Now, 4th verse. Nishchayam shrinu me tatra tyage bharata sattama tyago hi purusha vyagra trividhas samprakirtitah yajna dana tapah karma natyajyam karyameva tat yajno danancha paschaiva pavanani manishinam etanyaphi tu karmani sangam tyaktva phalani cha kartavyani me partha nishchitam matamuttamam. Okay. So now these are all opinions of various scholars, manishins. Manishins means wise people, scholars, and other thinkers, lofty thinkers. Now, Nishchayam me shrinu. Now, for sure, listen to me. Listen to what I have to say. So, having presented other scholars, I am going to say what is it that is worth taking from these other scholars. What is it that I am going to build upon, and what is it that I am going to present. Please listen very, very carefully. So then he says, and he addresses him as Bharata Sattama. Sat means what? Here truth. Here means truth. Sat means also that which is worthy of being called existent. So Sat, Sattara, Sattama. Good, better, best. So like that. Existent, even more existent, fully existent you can say, or the one given to truth. Who is the one given to truth? The one who has emotional maturity. So, O Arjuna, though you who are the best among the Bharata clan, you are the best, and you need to know this. You need to know this for sure. Nishchayam shrinu. And then he makes it even more complicated. Already this topic was made complicated by those academic scholars. those Vichakshanas and the Manishinas, what they said was discussed. Now he is about to make this topic even more complicated by taking Arjuna through a maze. And what is that? He divides Tyaga into three. Three forms of Tyaga are available, and in this way, this is a continuation of chapter 17, where everything was threefold. Yajna threefold, Dana threefold, Tapas threefold. Based on what? Chapter 14. What was chapter 14? Gunas. So based on the three gunas, so everything was 3, 3, 3. You had to study 9 things each time. Based on the three gunas, yajna, dana, tapa, all this was 3 into 3 into 3. And then, so like this it was. And then, so here also he continues in that same vein. So he says, Tyago hi Purusha Vyagra. Purusha Vyagra is a alankara, an expression, the tiger among men. Not that he is a tiger, but Purusha Vyagra, one who is as brave as a tiger, as courageous as a tiger. And Trividham bhavati tyagaha samprakirtitaha, means it is already well known. This is known. This is my ascertainment. Listen to me. 3 kinds of tyaga are talked about. And what are they? So first he says what should not be given up. So yajna dana tapah karma. Yajna dana, how many things are there in this list? Yajna dana tapah karma, 4 things. No, only 3 things. Yajna dana tapah, and karma is common to all of them. So yajna dana tapah karma natyajyam, do not ever give this up. This does not apply to sannyasis. This is a custom made teaching only for Arjuna who is not ready for sannyasa. Because the yajna, dana, tapas, not only does it give emotional maturity, but it also provides a kind of a preparation in the immediate way. How? Because the person cannot live alone, cannot be without any emotional support, feels completely, bereft. And so therefore what? So therefore feels upset. And so therefore yajna, dana, tapas puts them back on the track of preparation, but at the same time without making such people isolated. Yajna means you have to call people, you have to cook, you have to arrange for food. That itself is a lot of activity. And then dana again, even if you don't feel like giving, you have to give. In order to give, you have to earn. All these things. Tapas, then you have a certain kind of a religious discipline. You look forward to that because this is what Guru gave, this is what has been given by Bhagavan, all these things. And then so it gives a certain kind of a dharmic purpose in one's life. These 3 things, yajna, dana, tapas, give a kind of a dharmic purpose and contours to one's life so that one doesn't fall off the wagon of spiritual goals and spiritual path. One doesn't fall off the wagon. So therefore it is very, very important, because if you give up all this, then one becomes like the sannyasis that Pujya Swamiji met in the Himalayas. And so like this, you can't have a miserable sannyasi. That is a oxymoron. The sannyasi should always be cheerful, generally be cheerful and happy. And so the miserable sannyasi one becomes if yajna, dana, tapas, the preparatory means are given up far too much in advance before one is ready. Arjuna clearly is not ready, therefore he is being told that this is what is not to be given. So yajna, then this is what the so is not to be given up. It should be done, because those manishinam is not jnaninam. Manishinam means vivekinam. For the vivekis, this is of a purifying nature, pavanani. Pavanani Manishinam. This is of a greatly purifying nature, this kind of a disciplined life. So, etani apitu karmani sangam tyaktva phalani cha kartavyani iti me partha nishchitam matam uttamam. Arjuna, I have already told you this long before. When did I tell you? Long ago I told you. In the second chapter I told you. In the third chapter I told you. These actions are to be done how? By giving up the attachment to the action itself and giving up the, the addiction to the fruit of action. So the attachment to the action itself is given up, and anticipating the results of action and wanting the results of action and then working only for the sake of producing results of action, that is also given up. Why is that given up? Because you are not in charge of producing the results of action. You can only do action, but you are not in charge of producing the results of action. This we have seen very much. And then what? So, kartavyani, this is my definite opinion. Nishchitam matam uttamam. This is the most exalted opinion. This is the vision. Bhagavan doesn't have opinion. Bhagavan has vision. So, even it says matam uttamam, we have to not take it as mata, my opinion. It should be taken as this is the most exalted truth, O Arjuna. So then, who is the sannyasi? What is this sannyasa, etc.? Now he is going to answer. Niyatasya tu sannyasah karmano nopapadyate mohat tasya parityagah tamasah parikirtitah. We learn new things every day. So there is a tamasic sannyasa, not tamasic sannyasi. So tamasic what? Sannyasa. The act of taking sannyasa, he already said this is divided into three. So the act of taking sannyasa is the first, the tamasic variety of sannyasa is discussed. In the 17th chapter, what was discussed first among sattva, rajas, tamas? Sattva, then rajas, then tamas. Here the order is ulta, reversed. Why is the order reversed? The order is reversed because Arjuna is told, don't be in a haste to take sannyasa. What kind of sannyasa? Tamasic sannyasa. The worst one is given first so that you can look forward to what is the correct one later on. So you dismiss all the things that need to be dismissed. That's why it is given first. So niyatasya niyatasya means nitya karmanaha. Niyatasya means nitya karmanaha. Of the enjoined actions, the giving up is not improper. The giving up of actions that are enjoined, which are namely 1 and 2 that we saw earlier, 1 and 2, which are what? Nitya karma, naimittika karma. Renunciation of that is no improper. Why? Because you are not ready for it. If one is not ready for it, because here Arjuna is not talking to the one who is ready for sannyasa. Arjuna is talking to Krishna is talking to Arjuna. How will it become any better? Just because you put the tamasic vrittis in an orange dress, it doesn't really pass muster. It is still tamasic. The tamasic person in orange dress is still. So the tamasic kind of tyaga is still tamasic in nature, even though we are honoring it by calling it tyaga. It is tamasic in nature, born of ignorance and wrong thinking, moha. And then the next one, what will it be? Rajasic tyaga. Let us look. Dukkhamityeva yat karma kaya klesha bhayatyajet sakritva rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga phalam labhet. So one may give up the karma Why? Because it is too painful. He is being talked about as a Rajasik Tyagi, Arjuna. Lord Krishna is squarely talking to him without naming him. He doesn't want him to feel bad. So, without naming him, he's just talking about a particular kind of Tyaga that makes this Arjuna's predicament very, very obvious and speaks to his predicament. What is his predicament? Dukkha. In the first chapter, Arjuna Visha Yoga, it is called, he was full of dukkha, and because of this dukkha, what does he do? He is in pain, he is in emotional pain, pariklishtaha. So he is in emotional pain, he is besotted by sorrow, and then the one who feels like running away, when one is besotted by pain and sorrow, is that kind of tyaga, that kind of running away, that action is called Raja. Child going too close to the river. You look around, you don't immediately see the parents. Maybe they are buying something, maybe they are arguing amongst themselves, maybe just briefly they turned away. And then what do you say? You don't say, you don't even know who the parents are. You don't say, this is not my child. This is not my child. I am not responsible for this child. If it falls into the river, it's not my problem. Who will say? Only the psychopath will say that. Yeah, either a sociopath or psychologically some impairment should be there. Some mentally ill person will say that. The rest of the people, what will they do? They will rush to bring the child back to safety, then look for the parents. By the time the parents also come, and this is what is done. Karyam, it needs to be done. Right now it needs to be done. Somebody has fallen, I have to give them a hand to get up. That is not the time to think, this is not my grandfather, what should I do? This is not how to go about life. Karyam iti yat karma. So here you don't think, is it my karma or is it not? Somebody has to pick up. Why should it be me? Let somebody else pick up. You don't say, that which is to be done, I do. Karyam iti yat karma kriyate, niyatam kriyate. Not, and then niyatam kriyate here also a double meaning, always is done, also nitya karma. Nitya karma also we have the same value. What is the same value? This karma needs to be done. Certain things are non-negotiable. Taking shower, non-negotiable. Brushing teeth, non-negotiable. These are all nitya karmas. And if I don't do this, then there will be immediate consequences. What will happen? No friends. That's what will happen. Nobody will want to sit next to you. And so, therefore, this has to be done. There is no other option here. Similarly, these are all laukika karmas, shower, brushing teeth, etc. But then we have Vaidika karma also. What is the Vaidika karma? The Vaidika karmas such as the Nitya Puja, etc. All that has to be done with the spirit. This is not optional. And then not only the spirit of the karma is given, the spirit of the karma should be, this is not optional. And then the attitude with which the karma is done is also given. To the karma, I should not have any attachment. Oh, I really look forward to the puja. Without puja, I can't live. That also must be not there. And then, oh God, why should I do this puja? That also should not be there. Sangam tyaktva, and then Sangam tyaktva, and then karma phala asakti also tyaktva. So the karma must not have, we must not have any opinion while doing the karma, favorable karma, unfavorable karma, like that. And then towards the karma phala also there should be a sense of letting go. That kind of tyaga is called sattvika. Towards the karma also I am neutral. Towards the karma phala also I am neutral. I am in fact not interested in karma phala. Then why am I doing this karma? For my emotional growth, my spiritual maturity, so that I can understand this teaching, so that I can internalize the vision of Vedanta. This is why I do the karma, and so therefore it doesn't matter what I do, it doesn't matter when I am asked to do it, it doesn't matter whether it is favorable or unfavorable, and it doesn't matter what kind of phala it will give. I don't anticipate the phala, and I am okay with whatever phala comes. I have trained the mind to have samatvam. We saw that samatvam karma yogaha iti uchyate back in chapter 2. And then further, nadveshtya kushalang karma kushalena nushajjate tyagi sattva samavishtaha medhavi chinna samshayah. Nadveshti means does not despise, does not hate. What kind of karma? Unfavorable karma, akushala karma. The karma that is not conducive to me, I do not hate. And then akushalam karma nadveshti and na kankshati, does not anticipate or fall in love with certain favorable actions. That's why in the long-term courses we have rotating seva. Every 2 weeks it rotates. Otherwise what will happen? I only want to do this. I don't want to do this at all. We are getting the people. The idea is, in any ashram life, the idea is to have that flexibility. Yes, maybe I don't care for it, but I will do it. Out of a sense of Shraddha, I will do it, and that is the idea. So, nadveshti akushalam karma, kushalena anushajjate. So, when I am confronted by karma that is not conducive, then what will I do? I will not despise it. And then when I am confronted by karma that is conducive, kushale, I do not get attached to that karma. And then at all times, sattva samavishtaha, the tyagi is what? The tyagi, the renunciate here, the renunciates of the result of action here, is the one who is sattva samavishtaha, endowed with the freedom from ragadveshas. He is sattva guna pradhana, she is sattva guna pradhana. And then medhavi, the one who is wise, the wise person. Wise here means who has viveka. And then chinna samshayah, the one who has, who is not always what? Full of doubt. The ones whose doubts about what to do and what not to do have gone. And then Bhagavan says here, in the next one, Bhagavan says that it is not possible. Nahi deha bhrita shakyam tyaktum karmanya sheshatah yastu karma phalatyagi satyagithyabhidhiyate. This was already talked about in chapter 3. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit karyate hi avashaha karma prakriti gunaihi. The prakritijan gunan, like sattva, rajas and tamas, born of prakriti, what do? They make you do things, they make you do the karma. So in the 3rd chapter it was pointed out that as long as one is under the spell of sattva, rajas, tamas, it is not an option to sit quietly even for a second. Even for a second it is not okay to sit quietly. As is talked about in the story during the British colonization, the story of the SSS. What is SSS? Simply Sitting Swami. The story of the Simply Sitting Swami. Have I told that here? No? Even if I have told, people say no because they want to hear it again. So the British time they had collectors. Even now they have collectors. Collectors means they go to our temples and collect all the all the earnings, all the people's earnings. They collect and they use it to fund the government, and that's what is even happening today. But anyhow, so the collector, the British collector, new collector came, and then this was a small temple in a village. There was a priest, there was an assistant priest when the priest needed to take time off or he was sick or something like that. There was a lady who swept the temple and who made flower malas for the small one deity was there in the temple. And then there was one Swami, because what is a temple without a Swami sitting in there? So the Swami used to sit in the courtyard, and then they had a fee scale for each of them. And it was all paid in kind in those days, not in cash. Head priest, 4 pattas, bushels. 4 bushels of rice for the head priest, 3 bushels of rice for the assistant priest, 2 bushels of rice for the mala lady, cleaning lady, and then 1 bushel of rice for the simply sitting Swami. And it went on like this for many, many years. This new one, this cost-cutting one came, the cost-cutting fellow came. Reminds us of somebody right now in the United States. So, this cost-cutting one came, and the cost-cutting collector, CCC, triple C, cost-cutting collector came, and the cost-cutting collector said, why? There should be more for the crown, we should have more for the queen, and queen means it should be for the government, for us, not for you. And then so, everybody's pay scale was slashed. The 4 pattas became 3 pattas for the priest. And then what? The assistant priest got only 1. The cleaning lady got half. And then he said, simply sitting Swami, who is this? What does he do? He just sits here. Why should I pay him to sit here? Time after time to sit here. No, the people love him. They regard him as a blessing presence. Blessing my foot. No, nothing. Cut out. Simply sitting Swami, 0, nothing. And the poor Swami just sat for 2-3 days. No rice came, no food came. And he went to the head priest and said, what is happening? And the head priest said, Swami, this is not the time to talk to me. I am also sad. My salary is also cut. Assistant priest salary is cut. And think of that poor cleaning lady. She has such a big family to feed and she has nothing. Well, we are all upset. Simply sitting Swami said, why? Why did they do this? We don't know. Ask the collector. And then simply sitting Swami said, can you please do me a favor and bring me the collector? I think I can right this situation. Unwillingly the collector comes and the collector gives a lecture. What the British, what the crown decides to do is not for negotiation. No, I am not trying to negotiate. Then what is this? I am just trying to tell you it's not easy to simply sit. It's difficult, it's not easy. What do you mean? I can sit. Okay, try. Sit in front of me. Made him sit. First of all, that itself was a chore. Sitting in Sukhasana. The legs will go like the wings of an airplane if one is not used to it. And he was already aching, he was squirming. He says, am I doing that? No. See how I am sitting? You also sit. And very unwillingly he sits. And then somebody comes outside. They are sitting, of course, in the courtyard out in the open. Somebody comes and then, the paper person comes. The paper person comes and throws a paper. Immediately he starts opening the paper and reading. Swami scolds him. What? Am I reading the paper? No, I am simply sitting. You also sit. Put the paper aside. All right. Then the cleaning lady comes and he is trying to look. No, shut up. Simply sit. After about 10 minutes of this, the British collector goes back and revises the pay scale. And everybody is pay is the same as before. Head priest, 4 pattas. Assistant priest, 3 pattas. Cleaning lady, 1 patta. Simply sitting Swami, 2 pattas. His salary is doubled, because indeed, if the mind is not ready, you cannot simply sit. Cannot simply sit. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha, one has to be able to simply sit. One has to be happy being oneself, with oneself, by oneself. Until that happens, you cannot simply sit. And the 17th chapter is very much a revision of all that we have studied before and happily forgotten. And so the same thing is reiterated here in the 11th verse. Nahi deha bhrita shakyam tyaktum karmani asheshatah. Actions cannot be indeed given up by anybody who is embodied. Deha bhrit means the embodied one, means the one who has a body, a person. The person cannot give up actions completely because it is just not possible. Even the sannyasi for Sharira Yatra, this is a beautiful term that was again coined in chapter 3. So, in chapter 3, the Lord says some karma is done at least for Sharira Yatra, the journey of this body from where to where. Don't say birth and death. Don't say from birth to death. The journey of this body from Ajnana to Moksha. That is how we have to look at the Sharira Yatra. So, for the Yatra of this body, from Ajnana to Moksha, some karma is required. And some karma is required. And here also the same exact thing is told in the first line. Nahi deha bhrita shakyam. Shakyam na shakyam deha bhrita hi yasmat, because deha bhrita karmani asheshatah tyaktum na shakyam. It is not possible to give up karma without any residue. But the one who karma phalatyagi, the one who has able to successfully give up the results of karma, that is the true tyagi. That is the true tyagi. This is what this one, Lord Krishna says. Then further he says, what is the sannyasi? And then when we look at verse number 12, we see that he doesn't make any distinction between tyagi and sannyasi. Sannyasi and tyagi are one and the same. From verse number 12, which we are going to look at, we will know immediately that sannyasi and tyagi are one and the same. Arjuna is smart because he wanted a ratification of his wanting to take sannyasa. He wanted a validation. Most people come to Swamis with certain opinions already in the head. Very few come for clarifications. Most people come to the Guru to get their opinions validated. So here too Arjuna is desperately wanting Krishna's blessing, saying that sannyasa is a wonderful thing for me, at least tell me that. But if Arjuna is smart in how he approached the question by dividing it into two and calling it Tyaga and Sannyasa, Lord Krishna is smarter still. He is much, much more smarter than Arjuna. And then so, first he makes a big hype about Tyaga, Sannyasa, and then in the end, what does he say? The Tyagi and sannyasi are one and the same. Why? Anishtamishtam mishrancha trividham karmanah phalam bhavatyatagina pretya natu sannyasinam kvachit. Quietly, the word tyagi and sannyasi are used in apposition, not opposition, apposition. Samanadhikaranya is there. So, he says, based on the results of action, the results of action can be divided into three. What are they? Ishtaphala, things which are desirable results. Anishtaphala, undesirable results. And the third one is what? khichdi, mixed phala. Mixed phala between what? Ishta and anishta. Some things you like, some things you don't like. And so you got a new job. Before you can say yay, you find that while the pay is good, the commute is very bad. 4 hours you will be on the road just to make a little extra money. So this is Mishra Phalam. You did want a job, you wanted a new job, you got a new job. It is actually a very promising job. It looks to be a promising job, but it has a killer commute. So therefore, these are the 3 kinds of phalas one has to deal with. And then this result is not only not only there in the life. In what life? In this life. In this life, what are we doing in this life? We are doing upabhoga, experiencing ishtaphala, anishtaphala and mishraphala from previous lives. Are we not? That is what we are doing. One day okay, one day bad, one day sad, one day mad. This is one day like this. So therefore, this is already there, which we are experiencing in the form of Ishta, Anishta and Mishra. How to get over it? So it says that for the person who is not able to let go of karma phala, what happens to them? The karma phala catches them after death. They are caught by karma phala if they are not able to let go, forcing them to be in ignorance and forcing them to take on another new birth. And in the new birth also, they accrue more karma phala, more karma they do, more karma phala they accrue. This becomes a chakra, a cycle, but not for the sannyasi. So this is a very beautiful thing. The tyagi who is tamasic, the tyagi who is rajasic will be heavily involved in karma phala and not so much the sannyasi. Nahi sannyasinam kvachit. The results of action is not there for the is not there for the sannyasi, is there only for the tyagi. So this one concludes the, I think this is it. Yeah, this concludes the talk, the discussion on the question of tyaga and sannyasa. And on his own accord, the Lord will now, from the 13th chapter, 13th verse on to, this is a long topic. Let's see where it ends. Probably in the 40s it will end. Prithivyam devi diveshu sattvam prakriti janairhi muktam yadebhi syat tribhirei gunaihi. Yeah. So, until probably till verse 40, I'll confirm it tomorrow. This is the next topic, comprising 6 subtopics. Same thing, yajna, dana, karma, karta, jnanam, all these things. Similar topics are there. 6 topics are there till verse 40, and from verse 41 to 66, there is the 2 quote unquote nishtha, the 2 paths, karma yoga and jnana yoga, are discussed thoroughly. And from verses 67 to 78 is the upasamhara, the conclusion of this chapter. All this we will see. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.